Big
Hey
Bad
y'all, my name is
John.
John Mitchell and I'm a certified financial coach. The purpose of this video and this channel is to teach you how to master the personal finance basics. In today's video, we're going to be discussing how much dividend income my $58,000 portfolio made in the month of June. I am currently an active duty soldier in the United States Army, and one thing I've struggled with while being in the service is finding ways to create passive income. And that's what led me to learning about dividend stocks. Whether I'm training late at night or doing inventories way past midnight, dividend stocks will always be there to pay me at any hour. With all that being said, let's jump into today's portfolio analysis. All right, first I'm going to give a quick overview of my sheet and then we'll jump into the numbers from there. All right, so first this is my overview of the whole portfolio. So here I have my taxable bridge account on the top, followed by my Roth IRA, followed by my kids account, and then I have 2025 below all of that as well. Next tab is dividend growth. Here is where I'm beginning to track the dividend growth for my stocks year over year. Hopefully I'll push back a couple more years in the future. I just haven't gotten to it yet. Next, we have our income tab. This is where I track every single monthly paycheck and celebrate all those great wins. Next, I have a data tab. This is my best approximation at how much dividend income I should be making into the future, assuming my dividends grow at a specific rate. And then I have the same thing here for my kid. And then last but not least, this is those same data tabs, but just in bar form. Jumping back over to our overview sheet, I'll kind of breeze through some of these top columns here so we can see these, and then we'll go from there. So we have the ticker, of course, with all the tickers on the left-hand side. Then we have today's price, which I've automated through Google Finance, which is a pretty neat tool. I'll have to do a video on that sometime. Then we have the current value, percentage of my account based off current value, quantity of shares, average cost basis, dividend per share, a cost basis yield, which is based on, of course, the yield at which I bought the stock originally, the yield if you bought the stock today. So, of course, our cost basis yield will want to be less than the current yield. We have income for a year from May, and then expected income for a year from June to next June. And then we have total income year to date. So some quick updates on the portfolio. I have BTCI here. Their dividend per share decreased. I forgot to make it red, but it decreased last month. Again, this is one of them high yielder dividend ETFs. So obviously my cost basis yield has gone down because the price has gone down and the other yield's gone up, which is not great. It's only almost 2.5% of my portfolio, so I'm not super anxious about it, but that's just something to keep in mind. Moving on, we had, CM decreased again according to Fidelity. They don't pay out, I think, till next month or the month after. So we'll see if that actually happens. I know I've been talking bad news on them for the last 3 or 4 episodes. But until they actually pay less on the actual dividend, I'm not going to count them out yet for decreasing their dividend. So we'll see how that shakes out. Moving on, we have a dividend increase from O. They increased by 0.05 of a cent. So woohoo, I guess. But an increase is an increase. Last but not least, we added a new company here. We added SUN or Sunoco. If you haven't heard of them, they're a gas station company and fuel and gas behind that. I add them to the taxable account because they're an LP or limited partnership. So that means all their distributions are that distributions and not taxable dividends. So that was something good to add to my taxable brokerage account. If I haven't mentioned, by the way, this is all in my taxable stuff after taxes as well. Jumping down to the Roth IRA, nothing really crazy to jump on here. Of note, Kroger, again, this probably is one of my favorite dividend stocks, increased their dividend. So woohoo, yay, we love to hear that. It was a nice sizable jump, like 8, 9, 10%. So that's what we want to see in this portfolio build. But other than that, oh yeah, and I forgot, we added a Genuine Parts Co. So this is actually called out in the book Get Rich with Dividends by Mark Lichtenfeld, and that's kind of where we draw our wisdom and guidance for this portfolio strategy. And again, to reiterate that strategy, it is looking for stocks that yield approximately 4% and then increase that dividend yield by 10% year over year. It's a lot easier said than done, is the gist. Either way, going back up to our taxable, our total portfolio value is just shy of $30,000 with a cost basis yield of 5.427%, with a yield, if you bought all these stocks, same values today, of 4.351%. We should get $1,600 just from this account a year from now. and then we'll jump to those later for dividends currently. And then closing out Roth, we have uh, just over 28,500 with a cost basis yield of 3.586%, with a yield, if you bought everything today, same values, of 3.347%. A year from now, we should get $931.35. Portfolio total is just over $58,000 with a cost basis yield of 4.52%. The yield, if you bought everything today, of 3.857%. And then a year from now we should receive 25.52 in dividends. So that's pretty cool. Jump down to my kids' portfolio. He had the same changes I did. So we have CM here, Kroger, and O with their one decrease, two increases. And then his income, or excuse me, yeah, his portfolio value is $2,500. Pretty great place to be for a 15-month-old. So go him. His cost basis yield is 2.979% with a current yield of 2.67%. And then a year from now, he should get $73.50. Next, we'll jump over to our dividend growth tab. Here are, like I said before, I have 2025 or Q4 25 dividend, and then the most current dividend for 26. I've talked about this before. I'd like to annualize these to give us a better approximation of dividends. So in the event that CM, this is for them specifically, that's what I have in mind. Let's say their dividend payout is one thing for 1 year, and then they kind of fluctuate a little bit during the year, but their total yield is higher by the end of the year. I'm going to reflect that. Actually, and that would work well for Realty Income Court too. I think what I'm trying to say is take all, for CM's case, 4 payments, and O's case, all 12 payments, put them in one annual payment for 2025, and compare that to the end of 2026 instead of trying to do like one cherry picked quarter to another cherry picked quarter. I think that'll give us a better approximation of dividend increase over time. But just to show you a few things, so we have, where are you at? Where's Sunoco? Because they're new. Sunoco, yep, they from 25 to 26 are currently at 7.57%, which is great. Dropping down here, Kroger, their change was from 32 cents to 39 cents per share, so pretty cool. And then GPC, there you are. They're at the 3%. They're definitely on the lower end, but I knew I got them at a great price, so that's why my yield for them looks pretty solid. But I knew they were lacking a little bit in growth before jumping in. Like and subscribe to this video as it helps me see what content you all like and want to see in the future. Moving over to our income sheet, we can look at the month of June here in column H. We got payouts from American Homes, BTCI because they're a monthly dividend payer. Jumping down, we next have of course, another monthly income payer. It's fun to see them increase over time. It's gratifying, so I think that helps me stay energized about the strategy. PLD paid out. SPYI, again, similar to a NEOS fund with BTCI, so they pay out monthly as well. Again, also fun to watch that dividend come in monthly. Again, for BTCI and SPYI, they're not guaranteed to grow their dividends every month, so I'm looking for higher yields on these ones specifically. I debate if I should reinvest in dividends now or just pull them out so I can kind of like Shark Tank and get my cash out, so that I'm playing with the bank's money, if you will. I haven't put brain power to that other than thinking about that thought. So I'll let you know at the end of July where I've gone with that. And then, of course, we got some interest on our account as well. Our total dividends for the month of June were $73.06. And then year to date, our total dividends are $513.47. Jumping down to the Roth IRA, Chevron paid out a nice little dividend there. Kroger paid out a nice dividend, followed by Knee, and then Robert Half, which again, I'm trying to recoup my costs on them. As soon as I get into a more comfortable range, I'm down like $500 or $600. I'd like to get up a little higher before I get rid of them. I'm getting rid of them not because their cost basis dropped and the yield skyrocketed, making them look good. They didn't raise their dividend for a year, and of course, because their value dropped, I understand why, but I'm not looking for companies who cut their dividends. The Neos funds being slight exceptions, so I need to dump this one, Robert Half, at some point. As soon as I kind of recoup some of my losses. This is what I'm waiting for. Last but not least, I have Tractor Supply paid out, and then I got some interest as well. Our total dividends in our Roth IRA, again, all tax-free dividends, which is something to celebrate, were $79.54. with a total amount of dividends of $425.72 for the year in our Roth IRA. Again, all those are tax-free. Pretty amazing stuff. Jumping down, our total for my portfolio, and me and my wife, that is, we made $152.60 in after tax / tax-free dividends. Again, this month was about split down the middle. And then year to date, we have received $939.19. It'll be interesting to see with reinvesting if we can just barely break that $2,000 mark. It's going to be close, so wish me luck. Jumping down to my kid's portfolio, he got paid again from Kroger, Realty Income Court, and then interest on the money in his account. I think I'll add MPLX to his account this month because it is technically a taxable account. So I think I'll be adding them sometime this month. His total dividends for the month were $5.90. And then year to date, he has received $26.64 on top of what my wife and I are already investing for him. Closing out today's video, we'll jump over to the data sheet. Like I said before, this sheet is designed to help me approximate how much money in dividends I should be making into the future. It's just to give me an idea and some excitement and motivation for continuing this portfolio. So currently, 6 months into the year, we are averaging $156.53 per month. Pretty awesome compared to last year, which was $97.27. That's great. The yield is bumped up about 8%. That's a little biased towards the NEOS fund, so I know that's not truly accurate to what my growth is. But like I said, we're already halfway through the year. We'll see what it finishes out at in December later this year. Again, we should get 1878. So like I said, with reinvesting our dividends here, I'm crossing my fingers that we can cross right at that $2,000 mark to close out the year. Our goal here, though, or my ultimate goal really, is to be making approximately $10,000 a month. And to hit that number, we'll be waiting here until about 2049, or not waiting, I should say, actively looking at this until 2049. That's when I should approximately be making $10,000 a month on average in dividend income. So it's a pretty exciting time because that's 24 years away? Because we're 1 year, 2, about 24 years away. So pretty exciting stuff. I hope y'all enjoyed today's video and learned a little bit something about dividend investing. I believe firmly in what Rob Kiyosaki teaches. If you have an asset that doesn't make you money, it's not an asset. And so that's why instead of growing my portfolio in like S&P 500 ETFs or NASDAQ ETFs, yes, I know they do have some dividends in there. I wanted to focus on dividends specifically because I want to get that monthly income. As like I said before, when I'm not able to make active income because I'm doing field trainings or whatever, I will have my dividend portfolio paying me every single month. If you're looking for a financial coach to help you better understand dividends, sign up for a free appointment today with a link in the description or the comment section down below. I love each and every one of you, and I'll see y'all in the next video.